The second most asked question I get about Notion is, what do I use Notion for? The number one question I get, what is Notion? So today I'm going to be showing you guys an in-depth look at my tags and knowledge vault, where I have over 300, almost 350 different categories that I collect information on. These are all sorted into my 13 pillar system, which I teach in my new course, Simplify Your Digital Life, where I have organized everything in my life into these 13 pillars, and my tag and knowledge vault is how I organize all of the different topics within those 13 pillars. So I'm gonna show you guys my computer. I haven't done a Notion video in a hot second, and I wanna just really walk through each individual idea for you. You do not have to do any of this, but I thought it would be helpful. I wanted to share over 300 different ideas that I actually use on my Notion. So I hope that you guys check it out. Subscribe for more Notion content. Also, I have a brand new 10-day Notion challenge. What this is it's going to send you 10 days of emails that's actually going to encourage you to start using Notion more consistently. The number one thing I see when people join my Facebook group is, I can't remember to use Notion, or I forget to use Notion. And so I thought, well, how can I encourage people to use Notion? Send them a daily email reminding them to use Notion. So join the 10-day kit challenge. This is also going to be replacing my Notion resources. You'll still get the resource on day one, but instead of signing up for the resources, you're going to be signing up for the 10-day challenge. I hope you guys check that out. I put a lot of work into each day, giving you guys a different challenge to do. So I hope you guys check that out below. It's absolutely free, and you can learn more below. So let's get started. I'm gonna head to my computer. I'm gonna be walking through my tag and knowledge vault. I wanna say up front that a lot of this is included in my ADHD life tracker. I have all the tags and knowledge vault set up already. So all you have to do is grab the template. It's available at notion.jennaredfield.com/templates. You can check out the ADHD life tracker and you'll see I have the tag and knowledge vault all set up for you, so you don't have to do any of this work yourself. Welcome back to my Notion setup. So this is on my tag and knowledge vault, where you guys can see this. You can see over on the third column, I have it sorted by pillar. You can also see I have this sorted in board view. So I have it organized again by pillar. So you can see here, I have a ton of different options. So I'm gonna be going through, this is gonna be a lot of information, but I'm just gonna be walking through each one and kind of explain why I have it in here and what I use it for. So let's start with business projects. So I recently changed this up so that I have different options within business projects. So I have current projects, future projects, past projects, and then project management. So that's kind of more of the tag knowledge vault aspect. So for current projects, I have it even more. I've got client projects, coaching, Notion and courses, and then TCC, which is Twin Cities Collective, and events. So you can see if I open up, I have links to the names of all my clients. I'm not going to show that. But with coaching, I've got my one-on-one coaching, my group coaching program. With Notion, I have my courses. So this is my new course. I actually just launched that, so I can actually change the status to done. This is a course I want to do. I've got, I'm working on my free Notion guide as well as the all access membership. So both of those are ongoing. So that's why the status is all of those things. So for example, when I was working on the course, I could go in and I have lots of ideas. I have the modules. I was working on all that as an example of something that I would use this for. So one of the things that happened it was probably 6 months ago, is I merged my projects board and my knowledge vault together. So all of my current projects are now within the knowledge vault. So when I link it to the project I'm working on, it's already in the knowledge vault. So that is one thing I did change, is I don't have a separate business projects folder or database anymore. They're all just within this knowledge vault. So for TCC and events, I have, upcoming events, different things that I'm doing. I can use event planning in here. So if I'm planning an event within my TCC events folder, I will create a document. So I would say so much of my Notion is just within this knowledge vault, because it's where I store a lot of stuff. For future projects, these are ideas of mine. So, I want to write a book at some point. So if I have any ideas, I pop them in there. E-commerce, if I ever want to find a new job at some point, if I want to host a mastermind, future online courses, I have ideas in there. Webinars, anything that I have ideas on, I'll post in there, and then I'll put them within each of those pages. These are some past projects. So I had a conference at one point. I wonder if I can open this up. But Yeah, I have like conference notes. I went through my notes on Apple Notes and put a lot of the stuff in here inside the Knowledge Vault. So when I put a conference notes, that's basically from my notes folder. Old courses. This is actually really interesting. So I have a lot of old courses that that are not active anymore, but these are all courses that I have taught at one point. So like, let me give you an example. So like my Pinterest workshop, I literally have each unit in here. I have all the different things that I taught about. So if I ever wanted to like do a Pinterest workshop live, I'm like, well, I've already done a course on it. Here's all the different topics that I covered. For me, that's helpful to have for future reference, because a lot of the times it's like, I've already done the course once, I could probably teach it again. Stock photos. This is something I used to sell stock photos. So I don't know if I have anything here, but I have like tagged old clients. So again, like with my tag in Knowledge Vault, it's not just a place where I store things. I also tag topics from other databases. So for example, in my client database, I can tag stock photos as what that client was for. So I use this as kind of a tagging method as well. And then my awards is something, I might move this to current soon, because this is something, it happens once a year. So I will obviously want to change the priority level. I want to change all the stuff, as this is now going to be a new project. And then project management, I just have a couple of different topics. So things like goal setting, launching offers, business proposals. These are just like topics that I cover that aren't like current projects, but they fall under the business project category. One example of this is apps. I have my list of all the apps that I use. This is actually available to download in my marketing resource guide. So you can see that I literally have some of them I need to update, but like I have lots of different apps that I use or things, content creation. It's up to date within the marketing resources guide. So you can check that out. That is free actually. So you can get a list of all my favorite apps. All right, so that's business projects. All right, moving to client operations. One-on-one coaching, this is like my current clients. So if I open that up, that's going to show all of my current clients. These are companies or brands that I've worked with in the past. I link that over to my contact/CRM. So I know the name of the company, so I can sort by company. If there's multiple people at a company, I will like link that with a database, if that makes sense. I use the relational option. My contacts is extremely large. I don't know if I want to, well, again, I'd have to like blur everyone. I've done other videos on it, but basically my contact CRM, I have a list of all the people. I have it organized by when I worked with them, by year, by project. And so I have a list of all the people, even like people that have been my podcast. I have people I've gone on networking meetings with. It's basically my entire Rolodex of people is in my contacts folder. My CRM is actually like links a bunch of different things together. Actually, I wonder if I could open that one. You can see that I have, like the company's brands and then my people meeting database. So I list a couple of things in there. It's like a shortcut as well. Things like testimonials. This is a really important thing I keep is I have an entire testimonial. Actually, I'll open that one because you guys can read my testimonials. But you'll see that I have a list of all of my testimonials. I have the name of the person, and then I can link it over to the contacts if I want to. But I also have the testimonial. So if I need to copy and paste a testimonial somewhere, that's very helpful to have on hand. I also have like welcome kits. I took a welcome kit course, so that is something that I can like link to a PDF. Let's see if I can show that as an example. Yeah, so I have a couple of books on this topic. So then like I link that over. If I have a PDF on that, which I don't know why I don't, but anyways, so that's client operations under that pillar. All right, the next one, this is a pretty big one. This is content creation. So I have it even sorted within categories. So you'll see I've got things like ads, AI, content marketing. I've got things like, marketing strategy, photography. With content, it's YouTube. I've got live streaming. So for example, one of the things that I plan in here is my YouTube videos. So like the video that you're watching right now, that would be under probably content YouTube. And then I would have all of my ideas for my upcoming videos, where they're at, their status. I've done quite a few videos on this already. Highly recommend checking them out, where I talk about how I make YouTube videos. You can see, again, these are just like resources. These are places where I store information. Under marketing automation, I've got things like my funnel setup. So again, what I use this tag in Knowledge Vault for specifically is a place to store all the information about that, whether it's linking PDFs over to the PDF database. I've got just any like notes or anything I have about something, I create a tag and knowledge vault for it if it deserves its own category. And again, this is how I organize Notion. It's making it so easy for me to know where everything is. It's all in one database. I can quickly find it in here, and it might be in another database, but it's linked over in some way. So I've got my social media, if I have like copywriting, blogging, anything that has to do with content is in the content creation pillar in the knowledge and tag vault. Okay, entertainment. This is a big one. This is where I store information about things that I'm enjoying. So for example, my famous people, which I think I've talked about this in a couple of my videos. This is just like a place where I store like people I follow online, whether it's authors, YouTubers, podcasters. It takes a while to load because it's so big, but like you can see I have them organized. I mean, this is just a basic one. I have different views of it, but basically if like, for example, if I read a book, I will link over the name of the author so that I can see, okay, like who's that person that wrote that book? These are just some examples. So I don't know, like you don't have to do this. I just like to spend my time, looking at famous people. So that is something that is a passion of mine. So it's something that I like to look at. And that one obviously is a lot of things. Things like games. Like if you open up games, this is a great way to like track, like what are some games I like to play with friends? What board games do I have? Like, again, like it's all about referencing. So for me, it's like, all right, these are games that I own, a code names, truth bombs. So if I'm ever like, oh, what game should we play? I have a list. I can just quickly open my knowledge vault, open games, and just find that list. Same with like TV shows. A lot of people are like, oh, what TV show should I watch? Oh my gosh, I have a list of all of the shows that I watch, and I have it organized by category. So I have drama, I've got, comedy, so you can open it up. I've got so many different types of shows that I have watched or enjoyed, and I have it on a list. I've kind of talked about this before in the past, but these are just some of the ones that I have, YouTube channels, music, podcasts, that sort of thing is in entertainment. All right, the next one, family. All right, so I don't have children, so I don't have a lot for this one, but I do have a lot of stuff from my own childhood, and I've talked about this. I think this was also in my weird Notion boards, but basically I have like lists of stuff, my childhood toys. I have, taken photos of or found photos of a lot of my childhood toys, so I have a lot of different things. I just list off things that I don't wonder if they're in the gallery. Yeah, I have like pictures of a lot of them. If I find them, different Barbies I had. I'm very nostalgic, so I like to have those organized. Anything to do with my family or my family history. I have seen people use Notion to create family trees, and I'm like, that is way too much work. Just use Ancestry.com. It's so much easier. I'm not gonna put that in Notion. That's way too much work. All right, friends, relationships, and networking. Okay, these are all kind of like random. So things like camp. When I worked at camp, I put a lot of my old camp songs or camp stories, dating apps or dating advice, Girl Scouts, Facebook groups, your professional network. I worked in the wedding industry, so all of my old wedding industry stuff. So again, like all this stuff, you can just put any notes or anything in that has to do with that topic. That's what the Knowledge Vault is for. It's a place to store information. This is my second brain, honestly. All right, the next one, health and fitness. This is a big one. I've done a couple of videos on this in terms of like planning your meals and all that stuff. This is places, again, where I store a lot of information. For fitness exercise, I have different like parts of the body. Actually, I think that's under body. But like I have different like things in my life. Like I used to be in baton twirling. So anything about baton twirling would be under fitness exercise. Anything about the gym, cardio, just anything. So I have different parts of my body. So this is actually really interesting. I created what's called body. So for example, even if it's like my dentist, I have information about it. When was the last time I went? I've got things like jaws, mouth, nails, posture, skin, like any part of my body. I have a board for that or a page. So I kind of try to organize it that way. All right, the next one is home and household. This is a big one, and this is the one that I have a lot of content on. And I just also want to say, guys, this has taken me like 3 years to build. So like a lot of this, again, like when I give you the tag and knowledge vault, you will get all the like the basic categories, but all the stuff inside you are going to have to make for yourself because a lot of this is stuff that I have just spent time doing. So like, for example, with like closet, I have organized it by all the different things that I own. So I have different categories. So I've photographed a lot of what I have. Home creation, office interior, I'm just like opening some of these. I think that is like some of the stuff in my house. So I've got things like plants and flowers, disaster plan. My HOA documents are in there, that sort of thing. Lots of different things, products and assets. That's a huge one. My product shopping list is actually something that is on my homepage. And that's something that I look at often. It's like, what do I need to buy? So I have like a list and I organize it. You can organize it by pillar. You can organize it by, I organize by room. So I've got things like an Amazon cardigan. I need a car jump start, lockbox, garage motion detect, stuff like that. So it's all stuff that I have organized by room. And that's actually something that I have within home is I have all the different rooms in the house. I believe it's within this somewhere, but I have all the different rooms like organized that way. I've got lots of different things. I can make a virtual garage sale. I can like put everything on there and then make that into like a website, hair, essential oils, lots of different things within home and household. All right, the next one is mental clarity. This is, again, has to do with more of the mental health. And this has to do specifically with, mood, personality tests I put in there, therapy. So if you open up therapy, I have a bunch of different types of therapies that I've learned about and want to remember. So these are all different therapy techniques. I've got, with the personality tests, I've got different things like the love languages, empath, Enneagram, birth charts, a lot of different things that I've just learned about. I also put things like jokes and comedy in here. I put things like journaling, anything to do with your mental health, make you happy, whatever like impacts your mood, I've put inside of mental clarity. All right. And I did a whole episode on journaling. You should check that one out below as well. All right. This is a big one. There's a lot of different things within here. Basically, I use mind expansion for anything that has to do with things I want to store a lot of information about. So for example, my books folder, I have a list of a ton of different books, and I've done a video on this already as well. But this is how I track my reading. I use Goodreads as well, but I also use Notion to have my list of books. One of the things I do, because Goodreads is limited with their lists, I can actually decide, this is a book I want to reread. So I have them organized, like I have one called To Revisit. So I have all of these books. I have 19 books I want to revisit or reread, and that's helpful for me. So that's something that I also use. All right, let's see some other ones. This is a big one. I've talked about it before, my frameworks folder. This is probably one of my largest databases within the last year that I've been working on. And that is organizing everything in my life that has to do with any type of acronym, any type of, anything that I learned that I think is interesting. I've got different graphics and different, frameworks can be a lot of things. I think for me, it's different ideas that can kind of be down into either a graphic or an acronym or some sort of, framework. I've done lots of videos on that one. Go check them out. That's a big one. And at some point I'll share the whole thing. It's quite large, but it takes up a lot of stuff. These are just some other things. I have information about Notion on here, things like life planning, mindset, online courses that I've taken. I have a whole list of all the different courses I've taken. I wouldn't recommend putting passwords in here. Just know that those can get hacked pretty easily. Some other things I have, for example, school. If you're in school right now, you can actually, put all your college classes. I actually put a lot of my old, college notes that I had in Google Drive. I put them in here. So I have them organized by different classes that I've had in the past. I have all these different classes I took. I can pop things in, don't have to use Google Drive anymore, right? This is where I can store them. So this is, again, a lot of this information. Some of these don't have much in them, but they're linked to other databases within Relations. So that's an important reason why some of these exist, is all that sort of thing. Okay, so the next one is personal admin and finance. So within this one, we've got things like 401k, bills, credit cards, CRM, like so much, basically anything to do with money. I've just listed off a bunch of stuff. You can put information in there, passive income, retirement, Roth IRA, whatever it is, you can have information and link that. I don't use this one enough. I definitely need to look at it more, but it's helpful if I ever want to have resources on something. For sales and pricing, I actually don't have that much. I just have affiliates and Amazon. And then the last category, travel and exploration, I have things like my car. For example, I actually just found a really cool free template. Because I just had to replace my battery, I was like, I wonder if there's like a template I could use for my car maintenance. So you can see I have one called Car Service Log. I haven't really updated it, but this was a free template on the Notion template database. But this is a way that I can track, okay, when was the last time I got an oil change? When was the last time I got my battery changed out? What warranties do I have? If I had a car accident, how many miles do I have? That sort of thing. I was like, that's so helpful. I needed a place to put that. So you can track your car, packing lists. If I'm going on a trip, this is actually really helpful. I've been on 2 trips this year, and I was able to use my packing list for like within Notion to help me know what I needed, and it linked over, so I've got my personal items, and you can just check it off, or you can change the status if it's packed or not. So I've got things like my camera, headphones, that sort of thing. It's very helpful for travel. Also within travel, I also have like past travel or trips I've been on. So I've got things like, I have it sorted by year, so I can have, information that I have about it, or if I'm just trying to remember different trips, it's a great place to store that. So that's really it. That is all of my different tags in Knowledge Vault. There's over 300 different categories within this, so there's a lot. But again, you can get a lot of this within the ADHD Life Tracker template. So I hope that that's helpful for you guys to kind of get a head start on like, all right, this is how I organize Notion. I think it's helpful for other people as well. Make sure to check out our Notion Foundations if you want to learn Notion. It's an online course. You also get the ADHD Life Tracker template with that course, as well as all of the other templates. So you guys can definitely check it out below. Hope you guys enjoy this video, and talk to you next week. Bye!